Check, check, 1, 2, 3. Well, it's been a while since I did a video. I figured I would make one, and a little different from the others. I'm not going to be playing any songs or anything like that, but I think I'd make a video as to how I practice, and then throw out a couple of tips on what I do. So I usually start off with something simple. 1-4-5. 1-4-5 refers to the notes of the major scale, and so I usually start off with something like a G. I'm going to try to keep this short. Yeah, so it depends how you play the chords. And then I'll put a 1-4-5 in a looper here, and I usually play along with that. This is like a major scale in G. It's good to go over and do all the scales on the fretboard. I've found the more different ways you can view a fretboard, the better off you're going to be, since I think I talked a lot instead of play. The more different ways you can view a fretboard, the better you're going to be. Because your brain only has, at least my brain, only has so much bandwidth. And if I can free other things up, I can use this part of my brain to figure out a melody to doing what I'm doing. So I like to keep it simple when I start. So we're going to do a simple 1-4-5 in the key of G major. And it'll go like this. 2, 3, and... key of G major. Basically it's a 1-4-5. So then I'll reverse it and see if I can find it here. Yeah, let's do, instead of 1-4-5, we're going to do a D, a 5-4, and a 1. So basically you're going to be in the same key as G major, except the tonal center of what you're playing is going to be on the 5, which is the D. And when you have something like this, obviously I'm going to focus on the D. And what I can do is play major scales and minor scales. And different guitar players have preferences. I like to mix them up. So I'm going to start, I'll play minor scales first, I guess. And then I'll go major scales and see. Yeah, let's do some minor scales. Let's do 1, 2, 3 like this. 1, 2, 3, and... scales, you can see they have different sounds, different tones. And I like to mix and match them up. It gives some variance. Let's try something else in a, let's see, we did G. Let's try C. C, if we can find something in C. Here's a C major. And we do something like this. Let's see. We're going to do a 1, a 7, and a 2 and a 5. So standard harmony, 1, 4, 5 is major, 2, 3, 6 is minor, 7 is a diminished chord. So it'll sound something like this. A 1, 7, 2, 5 is going to be a C major. 1, 2, 3, and... more. I don't like to get that started. 1, 2, 3, and... I can play that for 45 minutes, an hour. I'm going to do one more, and then I'll give a couple of what I'm doing here. Let's try something in, we did G, we did C. Let's try something in E flat. Who plays in E flat? Well, the relative minor of E flat is C minor. A lot of people do play in C minor. Here's a 1 C minor. Let's see. Or E flat. I'll do E flat. And that is that on that. It helps when I look at the fretboard. The more ways you can look at a fretboard, the more ways, the more things you can see on it. So some helpful tips for other people. Some people look at the fretboard in terms of what they call cage, C-A-G-E-D, for a C chord. C, a G, C, an A chord is the A chord. And a G chord. E, and D. Some people look at a fretboard like that. I really don't. Sometimes I do. In fact, what I was doing on the last thing, that was from cage. That's the G form. The G form of the E flat. Another way you look at it, obviously what I use about 90% of the time is pentatonic. You see, and what's good about these things is that they're all joined on the fretboard. That would be E minor or G, and that's G would be. And there's boxes, what they call boxes, forms, 5 forms. So what's good is that they're all joined up on the fretboard. Once you learn the 5 boxes of pentatonics, and then it's a matter of where you put your fingers. If you're on a G, you want a G minor, use your index finger. You want a G major, use your little pinky. That's one way. Another way is also to keep in mind what all the relative minors are of the keys you're in. So when you look at a G, you can always use E minor. And the scale for a G major and an E minor, or any of the major or minor scales, they're all the same, exactly the same notes, exact same things. The only difference is they start on a different place in the scale. And what else do I use? I use what I call 3 2s and 2 3s. If you want a major, say C, that's going to be 3 2. One's 3. It's just 2 3. It's 2, I should say. 2 and 3. It's reversed. If I want major on the C again, it's 3. I'm not used to playing it this slow, but. Another thing I use use quite a bit is inversions, especially on a 4/4 thing like a G7, G dominant 7. The inversion is just, let's say on a G7 it's G, B, D, F. And then the next inversion, oh no, I can't play it that slow. Is locating notes on the strings. Say you wanted C major or something, you pick any note, say C. On the first string, there's always a 1, 2, 3, and then you go into the second, which would be the second box of the pentatonic major scale. On the second string, which was B, you want to do a C, so you would use boxes 3 and 2. 3 is your major, so you C. And 2 would be your minor. In order to use that though, you have to know what the 5 boxes in the pentatonic scale are. But once you learn those 5 boxes, once you have that down pat, then it's just a matter of taking it wherever you want to. And if you want to use the third string, let's see, on the third string it's a 5 and a 4. You gotta have this stuff memorized, but you have the short stuff. 5 and a 4. So let's take, what do you want to do here? C. Instead of just playing songs, in order to play a song, you just got to memorize the chords. Memorize the chords, memorize the lyrics, memorize the rhythm. But doing this, practicing like this, any guitar players, it's what I call divergent thinking. Most thinking that we do, at least the business I've been in, is convergent thinking. You have a bunch of different facts, and you take it all down to one center point. I worked in insurance claims, so you look at a claim, ba 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 ba, all this thing, you take it down. Finally, you work it down to one point, and at one point you're going to pay, you're going to deny, you're going to compromise. Divergent thinking is what more creative. You start at one point. Say, as I said, E flat. Start at one point. Where am I going to go with the E flat? And you just go, and one thing branches into another, kind of like going down the loophole or something, Alice in Wonderland. Anyway, I'm going to play a little more E flat, and since I got this up on the looper, and if anyone got anything out of this, I went through a lot of stuff really quick, and it takes a long time to learn it, but whatever. Let's try this, go out for a little bit. E flat. that's it. But in real time, I do that for like an hour and a half, and I don't think, how much time is on this thing? Oh boy, goodness gracious, I didn't mean to go that long. Okay, I'm gonna end it. Bye-bye.